From translation, RSV Revised Standard Version. This 63rd day of the year. Today we are reading passages Deuteronomy 14 to 16. Deuteronomy chapter 14, verses 1 to 27. You are the children of the Lord your God. You shall not cut yourselves nor make any baldness on your forehead for the dead, for you are a people holy to the Lord your God, and the Lord has chosen you to be a people for his own possession, out of all the peoples who are on the face of the earth. You shall not eat any abominable thing. These are the animals you may eat: the ox, the sheep, the goat, the deer, the gazelle, the roebuck, the wild goat, the ibex, the antelope, and the mountain sheep. Every animal that parts the hoof, and has the hoof cloven in two, and chews the cud among the animals, you may eat. Nevertheless, you shall not eat of these, among those that chew the cud or of those that have the hoof cloven. The camel, the hare, and the rock badger, because they chew the cud but do not part the hoof, are unclean for you. And the pig, because it parts the hoof but does not chew the cud, is unclean for you. Their flesh you shall not eat, and their carcasses you shall not touch. Of all that are in the waters you may eat these. Whatever has fins and scales you may eat, but whatever has not fins and scales you shall not eat. You may regard them as an abomination. You may eat clean birds, but these you shall not eat. The eagle, the vulture, the osprey, the buzzard, the kite, the falcon according to its kind, every raven according to its kind, the ostrich, the nighthawk, the seagull, the hawk according to its kind, the little owl, the short-eared owl, the barn owl, the desert owl, the osprey, the cormorant, the stork, the heron according to its kind, the hoopoe, and the bat. And all winged insects are unclean for you, they shall not be eaten. You may eat any clean bird. You shall not eat anything that dies of itself. You may give it to the alien who is within your gates that he may eat it, or you may sell it to a foreigner. For you are a people holy to the Lord your God. You shall not boil a kid in its mother's milk. You shall tithe all the yield of your seed that comes forth from the field year by year. And before the Lord your God, in the place which he will choose to make his name dwell there, you shall eat the tithe of your grain, of your wine, and of your oil, and the firstlings of your herd and flock, that you may learn to fear the Lord your God always. And if the way is too long for you, so that you cannot carry the tithe, when the Lord your God blesses you, which he will give you, then you shall turn it into money and bind up the money in your hand, and go to the place which the Lord your God chooses, and spend the money for whatever you desire, oxen or sheep or wine or strong drink, whatever you desire. And you shall eat there before the Lord your God and rejoice, you and your household. And you shall not neglect the Levite who is within your towns, for he has no portion or inheritance with you. At the end of 3 years you shall bring forth all the tithe of your produce in that year, and lay it up within your towns. And the Levite, because he has no portion or inheritance with you, and the sojourner, the fatherless, and the widow, who are within your towns, shall come and eat and be filled, that the Lord your God may bless you in all the work of your hands which you do. If there is among you a poor man, one of your brethren, in any of the towns of your land which the Lord your God gives you, you shall not harden your heart or shut your hand against your poor brother, but you shall open your hand to him, and lend him sufficient for his need, whatever it may be. Beware lest there be a base thought in your heart, and you say, the 7th year, the year of release, is near, and your eye be hostile to your poor brother, and you give him nothing, and he cry to the Lord against you, and it be sin in you. And because he cries to me, I will hear, for I am gracious. Deuteronomy chapter 15, verses 1 to 21. At the end of every 7 years you shall grant a release, and this is the manner of the release. Every creditor shall release what he has lent to his neighbor. He shall not exact it of his neighbor or his brother, because the Lord's release has been proclaimed. Of a foreigner you may exact it. But whatever of yours is with your brother your hand shall release. However, there should be no poor among you, for the Lord will bless you in the land which the Lord your God gives you for an inheritance to possess, if you will obey the voice of the Lord your God, keeping all his commandments which I command you this day, and doing that which is right in the eyes of the Lord your God. For the Lord your God will bless you, as he promised you, and you shall lend to many nations, but you shall not borrow, and you shall rule over many nations, but they shall not rule over you. If among you one of your brethren should become poor, in any of your towns within your land which the Lord your God gives you, you shall not harden your heart or shut your hand against your poor brother, but you shall open your hand to him, and lend him sufficient for his need, whatever it may be. Beware lest there be a base thought in your heart, and you say, the 7th year, the year of release, is near, and your eye be hostile to your poor brother, and you give him nothing, and he cry to the Lord against you, and it be sin in you. You shall give to him freely, and your heart shall not be grudging when you give to him. For because of this the Lord your God will bless you in all your work, and in all that you undertake, for the poor will never cease out of the land. Therefore I command you, you shall open wide your hand to your brother, to the needy and to the poor in your land. If your brother, a Hebrew man or a Hebrew woman, is sold to you, he shall serve you 6 years, and in the 7th year you shall let him go free from you. And when you let him go free from you, you shall not let him go empty-handed. You shall furnish him liberally out of your flock, out of your threshing floor, and out of your winepress. As the Lord your God has blessed you, you shall give to him. You shall remember that you were a slave in the land of Egypt, and the Lord your God redeemed you, therefore I command you this today. But if he says to you, I will not go out from you, because he loves you and your household, since he is well off with you, then you shall take an awl, and thrust it through his ear into the door, and he shall be your slave for life. And to your maidservant you shall do the same. All the firstlings of your herd and flock you shall consecrate to the Lord your God. You shall not work with the firstlings of your herd, nor shear the firstlings of your flock. You shall eat it before the Lord your God year by year at the place which the Lord will choose, you and your household. And if it has any blemish, if it is lame or blind or has any serious blemish, you shall not sacrifice it to the Lord your God. Within your towns you shall eat it, the unclean and the clean alike, as the gazelle and the deer. Only you shall not eat its blood, you shall pour it out upon the ground like water. Deuteronomy chapter 16, verses 1 to 20. Observe the month of Abib, and keep the Passover to the Lord your God, for in the month of Abib the Lord your God brought you out of Egypt by night. And you shall offer the Passover sacrifice to the Lord your God, from the flock or the herd, at the place which the Lord will choose, to make his name dwell there. You shall eat no leavened bread with it. 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread with it, the bread of affliction, for you came out of the land of Egypt in haste, that all the days of your life you may remember the day when you came out of the land of Egypt. No leaven shall be seen with you in all your territory for 7 days, nor shall any of the flesh which you sacrifice on the first day at evening remain all night until morning. You may not offer the Passover sacrifice within any of your towns which the Lord your God gives you, but at the place which the Lord your God will choose, to make his name dwell in it, there you shall offer the Passover sacrifice in the evening at sunset, at the time you came out of Egypt. And you shall cook and eat it at the place which the Lord your God will choose, and in the morning you shall turn and go to your tents. For 6 days you shall eat unleavened bread. And on the 7th day there shall be a solemn assembly to the Lord your God. You shall do no work on it. You shall count 7 weeks for yourself. Begin to count the 7 weeks from the time the sickle is first put to the standing grain. Then you shall keep the feast of weeks to the Lord your God with the tribute of a freewill offering from your hand, which you shall give as the Lord your God blesses you. And you shall rejoice before the Lord your God, you and your son and your daughter, your manservant and your maidservant, the Levite, the sojourner, the fatherless and the widow, who are within your towns, as long as they live in your land. You shall remember that you were a slave in Egypt, and you shall be careful to observe these statutes. You shall keep the Feast of Booths 7 days, when you gather in from your threshing floor and your winepress. You shall rejoice in your feast, you and your son and your daughter, your manservant and your maidservant, the Levite, the sojourner, the fatherless and the widow, who are within your towns. For 7 days you shall keep the feast to the Lord your God at the place which the Lord will choose, because the Lord your God will bless you in all your produce and in all the work of your hands, so that you will be altogether joyful. 3 times a year all your males shall appear before the Lord your God at the place which he will choose, at the feast of unleavened bread, at the feast of weeks, and at the feast of booths, and they shall not appear before the Lord empty-handed. Every man shall give as he is able, according to the blessing of the Lord your God which he has given you. You shall appoint judges and officers in all your towns, which the Lord your God gives you, according to your tribes. And they shall judge the people with righteous judgment. You shall not pervert justice, you shall not show partiality, and you shall not accept a bribe, for a bribe blinds the eyes of the wise and subverts the cause of the righteous. Justice and only justice you shall follow, that you may live and inherit the land which the Lord your God gives you. You shall not set up a sacred pillar, which the Lord your God hates.